Would you do if, after your loving husband's sudden death, you discovered he had a dark family tradition, a secret so horrifying that it traps you in a nightmare? Imagine being locked in a room with his corpse for 7 days, stripped of your freedom, your dignity, and your hope, all while being forced to marry his brother. For Yewanda, this wasn't a nightmare, it was her reality. But as the days passed, Yewanda learned that the greatest betrayals don't always come from strangers. Sometimes, they come from the ones you trust the most. Yewanda thought she had it all, a loving husband, Tond, who adored her and their daughter, Zion. He spoiled her, kept her from working, and ensured Zion attended the best schools. Their life in Lagos seemed like a dream come true. But dreams can quickly become nightmares. Tond had one strange habit: he constantly talked about how he wanted to be buried immediately if he died before his family in Ogun village ever found out. Yewanda dismissed it as a quirky fear of death, though it often unsettled her. One fateful morning, Tond left for a business trip but, as usual, reminded Yewanda of his burial wish. Hours later, she received a chilling call: Tond had died in an accident. Grief-stricken, Yewanda arranged for a quiet burial in Lagos with the help of her pastor and Tond's friends. But bad news travels fast. Just as the burial began, Tond's brother Deran stormed in with villagers from Ogun. They disrupted the ceremony, seized Tond's body, and dragged it back to the village, insisting on performing their family rituals to prevent a curse on their lineage. Yewanda and Zion were forced to follow. In the village, Yewanda's nightmare began. She was stripped of her jewelry, her hair was shaved with a rusty blade, and she was dressed in mourning rags. The elders locked her in a dark room with Tond's corpse, surrounded by strange charms, for 7 days. They claimed this would prove her innocence in his death. Terrified, betrayed, and alone, Yewanda wept bitterly. Tond had never told her about his family's dark traditions or their obsession with money rituals. As the days dragged on, the family elders gathered to decide Yewanda's fate. Deran, Tond's greedy and violent younger brother, demanded to marry her. Already married to 3 widows, Deran wanted Yewanda for her beauty and access to Tond's wealth. The family agreed. On the 7th day, Yewanda was told she would marry Deran. She resisted, but the family elders threatened her with madness if she disobeyed. Defeated and broken, she was forced into the marriage. Deran took Yewanda to a run-down mud house, where she was subjected to daily beatings and rape. Stripped of her dignity, she was forced to cook with firewood and work on the farm. Her younger sister, Lara, begged Yewanda to escape and seek help. But out of fear, Yewanda refused. When Lara asked if she had any savings, Yewanda broke down in tears. She had none. Tond had kept everything in his name, leaving her with nothing. Months later, Tond's will was read. To Yewanda's shock, Tond left all his property to his family and charities, apologizing in a video message. He claimed it was to protect her from their greedy relatives. This betrayal shattered her. 2 years after Tond's death, the family's greed caught up with them. Deran fell gravely ill, and the village chief priest revealed the horrifying truth: Tond had performed a money ritual that limited his life to 2 years. Worse, anyone who spent his blood money would die after 2 years as well. Deran died instantly. One by one, the rest of Tond's family, who had used his wealth, began to fall ill. Meanwhile, Yewanda had found her strength. With Lara's help, she returned to the village, naked herself, and cursed Tond's family for their cruelty. She prayed for divine vengeance. Her prayers were answered as the family fell apart. Lara contacted the authorities, and the entire family was arrested for their inhumane treatment of Yewanda. Even the chief priest was taken into custody for perpetuating such barbaric traditions. Only Ade, the youngest brother who had opposed the rituals, was spared. Yewanda finally reclaimed her freedom. Though Tond's betrayal scarred her deeply, she vowed to rebuild her life for the sake of Zion. Her story became a powerful lesson on trust, independence, and the dangers of blind love. Betrayal doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes, it comes from the person you hold closest to your heart. Let your wonder story remind us of the importance of financial independence, self-awareness, and courage in the face of adversity. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping, educational, and true life stories like this one.